Yeah, well, I suppose we better do this whole bloody stream thing again. Never mind, could be worse. Yeah, could be worse. Could be at work. Oh no, work's shut. Never mind. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah, haha, fooled you. I want to be here really. Hello, 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 Sky and Scotty. How you doing? Yes, all is well with myself and the Wild Mary. Thank you very much. Well, you know, as well as it ever gets in your mid 40s. Especially when it's approaching the most miserable time of the year. G'day, Mark, you flaming galah. Oh, Scotty just ordered a P90. Let's go. Let's go as in let's go, or let's go as in stop blowing my nose out the window at you. Howdy, Yellow. Oh, and we've got a heckler here as well. Howdy, Hecklefish. So, hope everyone is well and fine and dandy. IR, generally. Usual minor grumbles, but nothing to be super grumpy about. Oh, Silver Queef lurking while doing some shopping. You have my sympathies. Shopping always sucks. Even if it's the stuff you want to get, especially this time of year, just being in shops is a nightmare. And Scotty Quaddy, greetings. Hope all is well with you, sir. So, yes, if you're relatively new here, you may not understand. I'm not a big fan of this time of the year. Oh, well done, Yella. That's very impressive. Next, you'll be able to tell me you can lick your elbow. Pardon me. Inhale nicotine, exhale carbon dioxide. Yeah, weird. So, yes, elephant in the room first. I did sign up for the fish fan crust mess. Then I found out what you got to do, and I said no, thank you. So I won't be doing the fish fan crust mess on this channel, mostly because I don't want to have to figure out two separate programs just to do one stream on a day when I get about half an hour to set the whole thing up. It's not gonna. And thank you very much, Mark, for the 5 memberships. Hello, Paddy, my dear. All those lovely new members. And Yellow using his super chat for being a member for 4 months. So, yeah, what have we been up to this week? Work, water changes, work, sleep, work, chores, work. Then go wandering around a fishy shop today looking for wood. Didn't find any suitable wood. So just bought another sponge filter and coconut hut because why not? Rude not to. Although this was the second closest fish shop to me, and yeah, the guy in there Basically said, "Oh yeah, I've got to get in contact with you about more longfin super reds." Okie dokie. Big shrimpin', big Papa Pimp. How are you doing? Yes, I'm making farty noises with my hands. Weather-wise in the UK, the wind has finally turned around to the east, which means it's got chilly. So I might have to stop wearing shorts for work. Well, maybe not stop wearing shorts. I might just have to start wearing gloves on my way in. Hello, Glitch, my dear. How are you? Um, yeah, getting a bit chilly on the old fingies cycling into work now, and I have a history of chilblains, and I'd rather not get them back. So if we can avoid that, that would be a bonus. Because if I don't, if I get them back again, then there will be deep heat being rubbed into my fingers and my toes, wherever the chilblains may materialize. And I don't think the people at work will enjoy that too much. Mark with another 5 memberships. Thank you very much, Lee. Cleaning up the cherry shrimp tank so you can cull better. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could say I culled shrimp, but I don't. I just catch however many every time that the fish shop wants some and take them in and try and avoid catching the nice looking ones. You know, obviously you got to chuck a few decent ones in there so the bag looks better. But you know, you don't send all your really cool ones. And Big Shrimp Man just left the LFC. Won a pair of Gardener Eye killifish. Very cool. Yeah, pair of Gardener Eye. Just make sure you've got a good lid on the tank, and there's no way they can get into the filter. Don't ask me how I know that one. Hello, Bruiser. How you doing? And as Yella says, yes, you can use the highly original emojis, which are not, honestly, they're not free clip art that I just cropped and changed very slightly, so it's not exactly the same. Yeah, so you got fishy, fishy, shrimp, ghost, snail, farty, fat man. Yes, farty, fat man. And it pretty much covers what I do on the channel. Fish, shrimp, snails, ghosts, and farts. Yeah, that's pretty much me, really. 6 emojis. Explain it. Describe your channel in 6 emojis. That's pretty much what it is. So yeah, from what I understand, obviously because this other LFS is in a different local council to mine, so I can't sell to him without a license, which costs a fortune and an absolute age to get hold of. So it will be a livestock for livestock. So again, back with the shrimp, what I'll probably do is just, if there's no fish I want, just taking the bristle noses and take home a bunch of shrimp and stick them in the tank, and then 6 majors, just 6 fighty guys. Yeah, that covers it. Oh, come on, how many other people have finished videos by farting in a church? This, folks, is why you should always watch to the end, because there might be something really inappropriate. Yeah, so basically what I do is just get the shrimp from that place, stick them in my tank, and then when I next sell shrimp to the place that I can sell to, I just hoof them out and sell them and get the money that way. Letting out the Holy Ghost. Yeah. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Goat. Hail Santa. Sorry, no, not Santa. Satan, that's it. Which, ironically, is what the Santa Claus is based off of. So, you know. Howdy, Phil. How you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is going well with your bristly breeding enterprises. Hope you're not having the issues I'm having, which are kind of happy issues. It's going too well is the problem when you run out of space. And you know you've got to get at least one fry tank clear because, well, yeah, I've got a whole bunch of pelvic acromis that I'm going to have to move soon. Eek. And I'm going to need space. And I don't think there's a, looking at the cloudiness or the bacterial blooms, this is not cloudiness, that's what it is. I don't think I've got any tanks there that I could happily stick another 20 or 30 fish in. I'd rather not mix them in with the Limia because that way lies confusion. Howdy out, Mr. Moist Hose. How you doing? Oh, another lot of longfin lemons. Very cool. When life gives you lemons, make longfins. No, that's not the saying, is it? It's something else. Never mind. Yes, I do need to have a clear out. And then at some point, I'm going to need a fry tank that I keep empty. Hello, Marrett, my darling. How are you? How's your lady cave, my dear? And hello, Sherry. How are you? Hope you're good too. Yeah. So my thinking is, because the black water tank, soft water, is a go ahead. I'm doing it. I just need to buy a tank and a heater and some sand and some wood and yeah, you know. Basically, I've got the botanicals ready. I just need everything else. Oh, yay! Good news. Yay! Well, I mean, not yay as in the being the X and all that went before, but yay that you can move forwards. And yeah, thanks again, Mark, for handing out the memberships like they're confetti. Yeah, I'm all right. It's just everyone else, Marriott, and time of the year. So, yeah. The fish fam link. Ooh, yeah. No, not going to say that. Where was I? Yeah, so once I've done the black water tank, I'm going to want a fry tank that I keep empty, ready. So if I do have fry, I need to move out the black water tank. I've got one that is at the same pH and hardness, so that when I move the fry over, then they don't get osmotic shock and go and completely miss the point. But then from that, I will then have to gradually harden the water up back to my normal tap water, so that when I sell the fish, they don't die when they go into other people's tanks or even just the system in the store. So it could be easy. It could be an interesting proposition. Patty says, say you have a gravel vac with some hair algae on it. Do you let it dry out and then use it in another tank? Is the algae dead or could it still spread? If you drop a bit of bleach or hydrogen peroxide on it, I mean, hydrogen peroxide would be the easiest because, you know, completely non-toxic after a couple of seconds. That will kill any bleach that's on it or kill any algae that's on the gravel vac. Otherwise, I don't bother. I mean, I'm not exactly the one to be talking about things like that because, yeah, I manage to get snails in every tank that I haven't put snails in. Purely because they've probably been in the bottom of a jug and I haven't noticed, or in the bucket, or in the gravel vac. Um, it's not just snails. I get shrimp turn up in random tanks as well. So I'm pretty sure the shrimp aren't crawling out of one tank into another one. Um, Snails, I know, do it sometimes. Because I've actually sat here and watched a ram swan crawl out of one of these and go into the next one. So, but yeah, so I said do. Dee do, dee da. Listen what they said to you. Yeah. But yeah, quick spray with some food grade hydrogen peroxide. No, it's not made by Hewlett Packard. Just a quick squirt of that on the algae and it'll kill it. Oh, sorry to hear that, Sherry. Lost a platy in the week. Poor little platy. Hope it was just one of those things and nothing. Yeah, old age. So yeah, you can. In that case, you can be obviously sad that you lost a fishy, but pleased that you gave it as good a life as it could have. Um, there's a thing with a lot of the live bearers that have got all the interesting colour forms on them. I mean, so inbred it does shorten their lifespan a bit, a lot in the case of some of them. And the Flooster. Ka-ching. Let's try and get the glare off. Not going to happen. Floofy boy. Stay up there. There you go. Oh, Floofy boy. The Floof monster. Zach. Yay. Fluster went viral this week. Ooh. Did you upload something about your floofy friend and got more engagement than you were expecting? Or did it catch something? And I'm not going to make the other joke about viral fluffy places. Although I did, on a similar note, I did manage to make my boss wet herself this week, so that was good. Sitting like a boss, 1,500 views, yay! There you go. It's one thing you can guarantee: showing your kitty will get lots of views. Note the very careful choice of wordage. Mandy Pandy, here's Johnny. How are you, my dear? What happened was there was a bit of normal workplace banter going on. I think we're actually talking about crust mess. Now, so now I'll spend it with Mary. One of my colleagues, Simon, goes, "Who's Mary?" Like, well, my better half. No, my girlfriend. And he's like, "What? You've got a girlfriend?" And I just turn around, no thought about it. Just turn around. I'm not that effing ugly, you cunt. And yeah. No, I didn't mean it like that. Yeah, which caused my boss to have a slight panty accident. He's like, oh, I gotta go. Little bit of wee just came out. It's always a good day if you can make your boss wet themselves laughing. But yeah, I'm not that effing ugly yet. C word. And he's like, I can't believe you called me a C word. That's me being polite, dude. I, I did sign up, and then I found out what all the hoops you got to jump through are, and I said no, thank you, Mark. I'm not figuring out two more programs just for 5 minutes on one stream. My original plan, what I was going to do, I was going to do it the Sharpie style way, which, as we know, is the most technically easy way possible, which would literally just be write down everyone's name that's in the chat, stick them in a hat, and then draw one at random. But apparently, that's not good enough. Apparently, everyone's got to do it the same way, and you got to use this. Yeah, no. So I went, nope. Nah, I won't be in HR. We ain't got HR. HR is at head office. We're a long way away from there. And yeah, all my managers get my sense of humour, so I'm not going to get in trouble for cracking a joke. And where I was standing, I could see that there were no customers in the store as well before I used those particular words. Hey, stop arguing, Shelleys. Yeah, exactly. I'm not. I get on well with all bar one of my workmates, so we have a laugh and a joke, have a bit of fun. Hopeless. Yeah, that's pretty much it. People who've never actually worked in a real work environment. Certainly not dealing with lorry drivers and tradesmen. Yeah. So I will be streaming normal time on the 25th. Same place, same time as normal. Don't expect a whole bunch of cross messy stuff or anything. It will look just like this because all my Christmas decorations are up. This is how decorated I get. I don't do it. I don't do Christmas if I can help it at all. Heck, I work retail and I've managed to get the week before off just so I don't have to deal with the bloody public that week. Because, well, I've not made any secret of it in the past. I do suffer from depression and things like that. This time of year, it gets worse because it was around this time of year that I got booted into foster care with zero warning. Yeah, no tinsel nose plecos. If I'm feeling really good, I might feed some red bait or red coloured foods or green coloured foods. So red and green pellets. See if we can get the fish to lay some red and green tinsel over a few plants and things. Limia would probably do quite a good job of that, the amount they poop. Yeah, that's the next one, isn't it? We've got all the other colours of bristle noses. Next up is the metallics. Imagine how cool that would be. Silver and gold bristle noses. That would be cool. mean, so when I say I get along with all my workmates, are all in my head. Well, no, it's weird because the ones in my head I don't get on with. Can it be done? Probably with a massive breeding group and some very, very careful selective breeding and many, many years, you might get there. Um, and then obviously, as soon as you sell some, people, other people are going to start breeding them, and yeah, you're going to kill the price instantly. So it's not financially worth it. Not viable. I mean, it's a different thing to be doing all that kind of thing with things like platies or guppies or betters that you can have in smaller tanks and in larger quantities. The things that don't eat so much, poop so much, or reproduce or take so long to grow out as bristlenoses do. It's a good 3 or 4 months minimum before bristle. Yeah, 3 to 4 months to get a bristlenose fry to just about sellable size. Obviously, in bigger tanks, they will grow faster. But yeah, most of mine are at least a few months old, so some of them probably nearly 6 months old in there. But yeah, it can be done, providing you can find some that have got some kind of metallicness to them naturally, and then you basically just inbreeding for that gene and trying to maximize the amount of it that come out metallic. The same way they do it with every species that they color morph, unless it happens accidentally, but they know how it happened accidentally. But these guys, the electric blue Acaras, they're a hybrid, and no one is really sure what they're a hybrid of. Obviously, an Acara. Oh, yellow's off to Costco. You have my sympathies. Well, at least it's not Walmart. And it's not Black Friday, so you should survive it. I have a fish species named after me. Oh, God. Ancistrus Sharpei. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if I'll get a sudden rush of views or subscribers. Probably not. Probably no one would know. That's a Sharpei, not a Sharpie. Well, if it's a bristlenose, it's going to be an Ancistrus. So, and then you use your surname. So, if you didn't use Sharpei, it'd be Sharpei, and then it would sound like a Chinese dog. And yes, I have had people spell my name incorrectly on things, and I've been referred to as Mr. Sharpei before. Along with my brother Sharpe. I've even had people comment on my channel, why aren't you talking about pens? What? Oh, Sharpie, right. Hello, Rebecca. Everyone spells my name wrong, first name, middle name, and surname. I don't know your middle name, but that's your first and surname. But yeah, I'm guessing a lot of people leave out E's or C's or add extra B's, that kind of thing. Now, people get mine wrong. It's got 6 letters in it. Now, people have spelt my first name wrong. I'm not talking about the people that spell it with a C and end it with a T either. Let's see. There we go. We speak of Anthithluth, and Rebecca, freshwater ichthyology arrives. Next, we'll start talking about shell dwellers, and Sean will turn up. Get called Shelley or Cheryl when people first meet me. Then you put them right, give them a slap round the back of the head. Go, no. Like the fortified wine, sherry. Yeah. Names. Good job we don't all have bloody Latin names, isn't it? People get really confused. But then there's probably people who pronounce Rebecca's channel name as Ich or Ichthyology. Dicketh, yes. Not to be confused with Lurkio. Yes, I was watching Up Pompeii earlier. That is still hilarious. Is that your real name? Yes. Oh, now fresh ick. Oh dear. That's I just noticed my fish has got this wrong with it. What's happened? You have fresh ick. Oh dear, yeah. That's not going to work well, Rebecca. Oh well, never mind. I've got to say, I think I left the comment on it. I might have dreamed it, but I'm pretty sure I left the comment. Um, you were talking about accents, and you were saying about your Bristolian West Country kind of accent. And yes, when you don't normally have it, it doesn't normally show up, but when you start getting animated, shall we say, it does come out. But at least you didn't start talking about combine harvesters or anything. Nope. Evening, Danny boy. Got to go watch the England game. It's always a fun stream. Thank you very much. But I would say keep us up to date with the scores. Let us know how many Senegal are winning by. Yes, as a Brit, you get to a certain age, and yeah, you just have a certain level of cynicism when it comes to football, because you've seen every Euros, every World Cup. Oh, we've got the team to win it this time. We're going to win it. Yeah, we're going to win this time, and then we never do. So it's kind of got that cynical. Thanks, Mark. Still 0-0. And yes, for our American friends who may not be familiar with the way the World Cup works, this is now the knockout stages. So if you lose this game, you're out. There's no second chance or round robin or pardon me, league format. Nervous watching from behind a pillow. Yeah, I basically had to try and keep awake the last. I watched the England America game and nearly fell asleep, and then watched the Wales game and nearly fell asleep. See you later, Marco. Stay safe. Should be right. Senegal don't have Mane. Yeah, they've still got 11 footballers on the pitch, Sherry. From what I've seen of ours, I mean, that Jude Bellingham, I think Linda Bellingham would do better. Howdy, 3G. Greg. You remain optimistic, Sherry. In this World Cup, anything can happen, and has. Yes. Cue England getting to the final and then someone doing something and they all end up in prison. It's not like the rugby team. Try to get more info on FIFA, but all that came up with civil rights abuses. Yeah, pretty much. And corruption. That is one thing FIFA and the US government have got a lot in common with. Corruption. Hello, Muppets. Listening while I unpack my car, moving Grandma out of her house. Oh. Sending hugs to Grandma. And anyone else who wants a hug. Free hugs. I really should wear that t-shirt more often. It says free hugs on it, and it's got a face hugger from Alien. Grandma Muppet. Shame it wasn't a Grandpa, because then it would be Stadler or Waldorf, wouldn't it? Oh dear. Oh, there you go, Muppers. It is hard work. It's not till you move house you realise just how much tat you've accumulated over the years. How much crud you got to throw in the bin. Because you just, I'm never going to use that again. Just bin it, be done with it. Yes. I didn't even have a whole lot of stuff when I moved in here. It all fit in one car, basically. But you know, there was still stuff that I didn't unwrap or unbox for about 20 years. Completely forgot about it, and it was in the back of a cupboard. I mean, that was wine glasses, but I mean, you know, that's obvious why I didn't open them up, because who's got time to use a bloody glass? You just drink straight out of the bottle. The whole purpose of drinking wine is to get drunk. Well, it was for me anyway. All you're doing is making more washing up that you then got to do with a hangover. So generally have a good muck out every 3 years or so. Yeah, I try and have a muck out every once in a while, but there's usually too much muck in the way to get to the muck out. Yep. Yeah. I'll get around to sorting that out later. I need to clear out the man cave because that is absolute bomb site, and there's all sorts of crud in there that just needs throwing out. And yeah, it's, every time I open the door, I get a cold chill. It's like, oh no. So I might have to. Actually, I've got that week off work. I might make a start on it then. Depends what else I've got to do that week. Grandma told me she wants me to take all her bird and frog figurines. Feel bad not taking them, but no idea what I'll do with them. They'll sit in a box for years. They will. Probably. Until Grandma comes to visit, then you'll have to get some out and put them on display somewhere. And then you'll probably put them straight back away once Grandma's left. Yeah, it's not something I've ever collected. I say figurines. I mean, he says surrounded by model tanks and monsters and things. So I collect them, but I build and paint them myself rather than buy them ready done. Pick one of each and donate the rest. I'd probably wait a while first. Um, we're not going to go into the whys and the whens, but yeah, I'd wait a while first because you never know when someone might want something back. So yeah, because I had that happen with me. I decided I wanted my Lego, only to find out that it had been sold. So this one, yeah, a super sappy sentimental. I'm just mental. Um, yeah, it's. I'm not as I'm not exactly sentimental myself. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I know people who won't get rid of a single model they've built because they remember building it and all the fun they had doing it and blah 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 blah. To me, yeah, it's just a bit of plastic that I stuck together and wiped some paint on, and then yeah, done. Um, don't necessarily attach emotions to things like that most of the time. There's a few things I've got that I've had for a long time that do have some attachment to them. Not a lot of stuff. Um, Trying to think of anything. No, things that I've still got every card or whatever that Mary gave me, every little keepsake and memento and things like that. I keep all of those. I've got a memory box upstairs that I keep them all in. Um, yeah, other than that, I've not really got a huge amount. Normally, if it's a memory of someone else, by the time I've got rid of them out of my life, I don't want to remember them anymore. Uh, People tend not to leave my life in good stead. Let's put it that way. It tends to be more of an FOD, hope I never see you again, rot in hell kind of thing. Um, Husband still has a card I gave him a number on 20 plus years ago, still the same number. Oh, oh. One or two on display and the rest in the box. Yeah, that's a good idea, Rebecca. Just if you got a trinket or a curio shelf, ornamenty kind of shelf, find it, find like a bird and a frog figurine that you actually like. Pop one of each of them out and then pop the rest in the box. And Amano, how you doing? Amano. Ooh, hope all is well. Oh, why am my face itchy today? Been busy cleaning the bike for winter. Yeah, does not compute. Surely you ride it all year round. You don't let a bit of rain or ice or snow stop you from riding your bike. Be it pedal, electric, or petrol. I didn't. Yes, I was the nutter on a motorbike and cut slick tyres in like 2 feet of snow. Classic in mint condition. Yeah, fair enough then. That is a legit reason. Keep the value up. Um, Only stays minted as it never sees bad weather. Yes. Yeah, mine saw every bit of weather that the world could throw at it, pretty much. Gale force winds, rain, snow, ice, hail, sun, me riding it. I think I cleaned my car twice. Got hay cemented onto the back seats. Oh dear. Suffice to say, when it comes to trade-in, you probably won't get a huge amount for it. Rechroming the foot pegs and stuff. Rain removes whatever the birds throw at it. Yeah, gets to a point. There's also the argument if you've got a thick enough layer of mud on it, it protects the metal work from rust as well. So I actually had that happen with a push bike. It was absolutely caked in mud, muck, and mire. So one day I decided I'm going to clean my bike and make it all nice and shiny and new and awesome again. Yeah, that was a bad idea. It turned out the frame was being held together with rust. Rust and dirt was what was holding it together. So I cleaned it, went to get on it and ride it, and ping! Oh crap! Yeah, pollen is evil. Yep, WD-40, dirt won't stick to it and it won't rust. Because we know what the WD and the 40 stand for. Water displacement, formula number 40. Yes. Yeah. It will do, yes, but it will mean your car is covered in WD-40 and the associated aroma, which not everyone likes apparently. Hi Thomas, how you doing? Tells you not to put it on paintwork, but it won't harm it. Yeah, if the paintwork's good and not scratched, especially if it's still got a good clear coat on it, then yeah, it'll be fine. It's just old paints that might have a bit of damage or permeability. It might eat through, but you take your risks. Yeah, I'm all right, Thomas. As long as there's a good clear coat, then it's fine. Yes. It's almost like I know something about paint. The big plant on the right. That is apparently dwarf fowl. I ain't dwarf. I gave it a trim the other week because it was sort of over there, so I trimmed about 2 feet off of it. Should have painted enough models and worked in a paintbrush factory. Yeah. Um, people don't quite get the amount of actual chemistry that goes into painting models because you're using different types of paints to do different things, and certain things will react with certain things and won't react with other things, and it's learning what will and won't, and then the levels of what you can get away with before it starts to do nasty things. Like I saw someone a couple of weeks ago had done a lovely job painting their model using rattle cans, and they used a relatively what we call cool paint first, and then they'd gone over it with a slightly hotter paint, and they'd got away with that one. But then they flooded the whole lot with a really hot clear coat, which ate all the way through the paint and started eating into the plastic. Oh, goldfish are bred in the pond, brought in some to power feed them. Cool. Cool. I don't think mine are bred. I haven't really looked. And if they have, either they've eaten the babies, or the frogs have eaten the babies, or the diving beetles, or the dragonfly larvae, or all the other things that live in there have probably eaten them. Might be one or two surviving, you never know. It will literally be, if they bred in there, the first I'll realise it is one day I'll go out there and I'll go, what the heck? Oh, that's a baby goldfish. Shabumkins, I like that. Shabundkins. Think like bunnykins, but yeah. See, mine is just there's one standard common goldfish and 3 comets in there. Nothing spectacular, but means they can stay outside all year round. I don't have to worry about bringing them in or feeding them or anything. They just live in the pond happily. And because of the much and varied life that is living in my pond and thriving, it's why I'm pretty sure I'm going to try using rainwater, at least cut with tap water, um, for my blackwater tank. Oh, hello, Dave. Lurking early night, back to work tomorrow. Ooh, not sure whether a yay or a sympathies is called for. But I hope all goes well for you anyway, Debs. Nan has a goldfish pond, all of them are gold, a few white ones, but she does have a baby black one. Yep. Probably a goldfish random. They're all inbred, so they've got all the different gene colours in there, so a black one isn't a surprise. If it's not a goldfish, it could easily be a roach or a rudd or a minnow. They will look black from the top. And I think baby goldfish don't start out gold either. I think they grow like betters. They change colour with their age. Yeah, it's pretty normal. Nothing to worry about, Sherry. It's either a random one that's just turned up because egg on bird's feet or something like that, or they've been doing the breedy and a gold one and a white one got together and produced a black one. And it probably survived because it was black and didn't get spotted. That is the problem with brightly coloured fish generally in the wild, is they get eaten by the birds because they can see them. That is another way, not foolproof, but a good way of telling if a fish is a bottom dweller, mid or surface dweller. The ones that tend to spend more time near the surface tend to have a dark coloured back on them. Usually an olive, greeny, browny colour in the UK anyway. Just because it camouflages them from the birds from above. Black is the wild coloration of goldfishes, so they tend to default. Breeders cull it, apart from the Tussakin or Tossakin or whatever they're called. It's too rare to cull for colour. A rare goldfish, blooming heck. Or is it one that is a certain kind of mutation that people, for some reason, love, and then it's just whatever colour you happen to get because they don't produce many with that mutation? That'd be my guess. As long as they stay away from the crucian carp, I'm fine with it. I'm going to go with Tozakin. After W2 originate from 5 to 9 individuals. So I'm guessing that was a case of your granddad bombed our fish pond. Whereas over here, the joke was your granddad bombed our chip shop. Yes, bad World War II jokes. Welcome to Sharpe's Fish and Phantoms. Okay, at least I'm not posing in Auschwitz with a Louis Vuitton bag. Yes, I saw that picture online the other week. Some influencer posing in Auschwitz, showing off their outfit. They're like, no, to the gas chambers with you. I think Sussex Spaniels have a similar story, but no one could afford to feed them. Guess they're hungry beggars then. Well, that's just any Spangle, isn't it? They always want food. They're like fish. You feed them, then 5 minutes later you walk past a tank and they're like, "Oh, food, food, feed me!" Yeah, certain breeds of dog are like that too. Um, I'm trying to think. There was a dog that was bred literally for turning spits. So when you used to have the big open fire and the meat on the spit over it, you'd actually literally have like a dog in a cage, a wheel, and you'd have the dog walking around it, and it would turn the meat. Uh, like waking goldfish, I prefer sleeping goldfish. Love goldies, but the tussocks look really funny. Don't look like they swim right usually. Probably a case for being massively inbred over the decades. If they come from 5 to 9 individuals, yeah, chances are they're all related. Um, yes, so there are some goldfish I think, oh, they're cool, like the comets, because they're a standard fishy type shape. Um, I do like the wiggle butts. I can never remember what they're called. Is it the rain shoes or is it the oranders? The ones without a dorsal fin. They sort of, yeah, wiggle butts. Love chickens. Globe eyes are amazing, but the swim bladder issues due to breeders are getting worse. Again, we're back to the inbreeding thing, and I'm guessing the breeders aren't sending each other, like stock, so they're bred from the same family all the way through. Ranchus, true lionhead see this as well, but they aren't common. See, I like the ones that don't have the brain escaping out the top of their head or the googly eyes. It just doesn't do anything for me. Same with things like flower horns. I see a flower horn, it just looks to me like a sort of massive zit on the top of its head that needs lancing. Yeah. But each their own. We all enjoy different things. We all like different fishes. Otherwise, everyone would just have tanks full of bristle noses and shell dwellers. Yeah, they're selecting for the extreme features, not against the problems. Yeah, yeah. So forget that it's got this health issue. We're going to breed for this particular mutation that it has, but we're going to gloss over all the other health problems it has. Things like pugs or German shepherds these days, where they're basically breeding for hip dysplasia and breathing difficulties. Oh, really? What? I did see a rather amusing post the other day where someone was talking about their full-grown koi, and they're like that big. Yeah, no, no, that's not full. not even £10. No, it can get 9 or 10 times bigger than that. No, a full-grown carp is around £100 in ideal conditions. Which is why a lot of carp fishermen like to go to the south of France to go on a carp fishing holiday, because with the water being warmer and the weather being warmer, the fish grow bigger. I think the record in the UK is somewhere around £50–60. Pardon me. Well, I've caught a £12 koi carp in a lake on a floating dog biscuit, so I know they get bigger than what was being shown as fully grown. I was like, yeah, no, they're not full grown. Well, they might be as big as they're going to grow in your pond, in which case they're stunted. Show me a 3-foot long koi that looked like it swallowed a cocker spaniel. That's full grown. Exactly. They do. They get to a certain length, probably about that, and then they just go. Again, I'm not a fan of the big carp, because they just get to a certain size and then get a massive gut on them. And if I want to see a massive gut, I just look down. I don't need to catch a fish to show me a gut. So the biggest one I caught was £25, and that was lean and mean. It didn't have any underhang. It was just basically a solid block of muscle. Yeah, that fish was stronger than I am. It was just sheer bloody mindedness that allowed me to get it out of the lake, really. I mean, it took me 3/4 of an hour, but I did land it. Annoyingly, I had a carp rod set up and out, which I could probably have got it in about 10–12 minutes quite easily. But no, it decided that it was going to take the super lightweight float setup I was using as what instead. Single grain of sweet corn on a tiny little hook with super light line and a super whippy little, or super long float rod, which made it even worse. Because a very long rod means you got a fish has got a lot more leverage against you. Simple maths. And yeah, that one gave me cramp in my wrist, my forearm, my shoulder, my bicep, my elbow. You know it's getting bad when you swap hands halfway through, because you're cramped up in your right arm, so you're holding the rod with your left arm, and then you realize you can't actually reel because the handle's on the wrong side of the reel. Trying to do that, it doesn't work. But it gave me a momentary chance to give my right arm a good shake out and try and get some blood flowing in it again. But yeah, that was a fun fight. I do have pictures. There is pictorial proof of the chonk. Yeah, I took a break after that. I needed to recover. Anyway, so back to tank-based fishy stuff with the Blackie water tank. As I said, yeah, go back to, as the pond is healthy, thriving, everything's doing really well in there, and that is run purely on rainwater. What I'm probably going to do is, while I can at least, use rainwater in the black water tank to keep it softer. Probably cut it 2/3 rainwater to 1/3 tap water, which should bring it down to about 60H, 7kH. Not sure what the pH will drop to, but that'll all depend on how much tannic and humic acid is showing up in the tank from the breaking down organics, botanicals. basically leaf rot juice. So that's going to be some interesting maths and chemistry going on there. Basically anything to not have an RO unit, because when you're paying for the water that's got to go into it, and then paying for the wastewater to go down the sink as well. So working on what I'll probably do is Heath Robinson up some kind of water filter, using basically the insides of a RODI unit, because you can get the sediment filters and the carbon filters, and literally just drip the water out of the water butt into that, let it filter through and fill up a water jug. No, super low tech, but hey, if it works, save a fortune. Because I mean, around here, if I wanted to buy RO water, it's about £1 a gallon. 25p a litre, so yeah, £1 a gallon basically. And yeah, I mean, I did buy some bottled water this week. Calm down. Yeah, Sharpe bought bottled water. Just the cheapy version from Sainsbury's. I mean, I dropped a test strip in that just to see what it was. Turned out it was actually harder than the bloody tap water is. So, you know, higher pH, higher GH, higher KH. I was like, right, okay. We won't put that in a fish tank then. If you're keeping shellies or such and you're in a soft water area, adding that water to it, using that for the tank would probably be a good idea. It's what, 19-20p for 2 litres or something like that, or a quarter for half a gallon. Yeah. He says trying to work out the two different monetary and then measurement systems simultaneously. There you go. Simultaneous equations done in the head. A very, very simple simultaneous equation, but hey. So yeah, there's that. We're going to be doing, so, oh, pardon me. There might not be a video tomorrow. There's work. And I've not got one pre-filmed. I've got a few sort of history ghosty ones ready to go pre-filmed still, but I've run out of fishy ones. So unless anyone's got any ideas for a quick, easy to film fishy video that's not going to take a bunch of research or setting things up that I can film when I get home from work and then upload, that isn't a tank tour video, because there's not really much change since the last time I did one. And if you've got any ideas, stick them down in the chat and I'll add them to my mental list of things I might want to film. But yeah, so there will be random watery videos coming up where I figure out how to make sure that the water coming out of my water butt is as clean and healthy as possible. Because when I took some out the other day, it was almost black to start with, so lots of floating sediments in it. No, it's not bad sediment, because I know exactly what it is. It's from all the moss and the ivy and stuff that's growing over my shed, because the water in the water butt comes from the shed roof. Um, and as I live in an area that is A, not in a city, and B, doesn't have any heavy industry anywhere near me, there is very little pollution in what falls on the ground out of the sky. So I'm feeling kind of safe using rainwater. If, however, you live somewhere in a city or with heavy industry or things like that nearby, probably not the best idea. The pond's doing well with rainwater. The shrimp tub did well with rainwater. So if cherry shrimp will survive it, then I'm pretty sure fish will be able to. Um, so yeah, I just got to be able to figure out a way of filtering out all the sediment. I did try a Heath Robinson contraption. We have Mark 1. Didn't really work well, but you can see what I mean by the sediment in the water. So the theory with that one was run an air pipe siphon down to the bottom, and then as the water slowly comes up and out over the top, hopefully the floss catches it, but it didn't. Oh, that's still leaking. And then we went to Mark 2, which we're going to have to. Howdy, Ricky. How you going? We're going to have to hold that over there still. Mark 2 worked a little bit better. It was dripping it into the top and then drill a hole in the lid at the bottom of the bottle with carbon in the middle. Still not overly impressed, so we'll have to figure something out there. I think probably taking the water out of the top might be a better idea than taking it out of the bottom. Then, because where the tap is near the bottom, obviously, of the water butt. So, yeah. And there's no way I can take the lid off because it is a still breathing. Good, good. Always an upside. I say because it's not a proper water butt, it is literally a plastic barrel with a hole drilled in the lid and a tap stuck on it. You can't get the lid off. If I could get the lid off, I'd clean it out, and it's probably full. Probably got a good few inches of leaf mold in the bottom of it. God knows what else is living in there. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. And so if I then run it through at least a sediment filter, I'll be able to pull all the bits out of the water, and I can get a sediment filter from work for about a fiver. It's then just a case of dripping the water into it slowly enough that it doesn't overflow out the top of the filter. Yeah, that's looking like the plan going forward anyway. Might actually get that tomorrow. Then we can do some experiments with it. It's just a case of figuring out how to block one of the ends off. But there we go. If anyone else has got any ideas on how to treat rainwater to make it as tank safe as possible, let me know. This will be rainwater out of my bare teeth. Put in rainwater from my water butt outside. Anything to save buying RO filters or waters or having to cart around a massive container full of water if I can help it. If I can use rainwater, then it's free. And hey, it's the UK. It's not something we're normally too short of. And then if come the summer months I do run out of rainwater, then yeah, I can buy some RO. But as is going in a black water tank, a little bit of floating sediment might not be too bad. But then with it being a black water tank, ideally you want the water as clear of particulates as possible to make it easy to see through. It comes off the top of my shed roof, which is corrugated plastic. So it's not going anywhere near metals or anything that collects nasties. And before it gets to the gutter, it does run through a load of moss as well, which probably is where the sediment comes from, but the moss will take out a lot of any pollutants that might be there, shall we say. Where I live, let's be honest, most of the weather comes from the North Sea. So it's come over from either the Arctic or Scandinavia. So it's not going to be polluted. Run it through a UV canister filter. We're trying not to spend money here, Ricky. In that case, it'd be cheaper to just buy RO. Because you got the price of the canister filter and the price of running it. Boil it. Yeah, I could always do that. Then you still get the sediment left in it, and I'm not worried about parasites and things like that in it. So yes, I mean, admittedly, I do get mosquito larvae in there in the summer, but coffee filters, that might actually be the best, cheapest option. Stick a coffee filter in a sieve, or piece of filter paper in a sieve, and run the water, drip the water through that. That'd work. Good thinking, Ricky. We'll give that a go first, because I'm pretty sure a pack of water filters or a pack of coffee filters is probably going to be cheaper than a sediment filter. Although the sediment filter will probably last a lot longer. Hey, for a starter, I can probably get some of them tomorrow, actually. I'd assume someone like Sainsbury's will sell coffee filters. It's not an area I normally look at, to be honest, in a store, the coffee section. Especially not the posh, expensive section, which is just like... I had someone buy me some of that stuff once. Bought me some coffee that came in a bag, and when I put it in the cup and added boiling water, it didn't do anything. Well, it made coffee, but then there was all these horrible bits in it, so I had to throw that in the bin because it was no good. Yes, coffee is granules you put in the bottom of you put a spoonful in the cup, you add boiling water, you add milk, you add sugar, put the granules in, add the sugar, add the boiling water, add the milk, stir it up, drink made. Getting off Tesco on a delivery app. Jeez. Yeah, I don't think Tesco are going to do a free delivery. Just for a pack of coffee filters. Yeah, that's what I think I'll do. Next excrement will be, as I'm going super high tech. What I will do is literally use an airline with a air stone on one end for a weight. Chuck that in the hole in the top of the water butt, and then just into a container and see what happens there. See if that pulls off clear water that isn't full of sediment. Problem there is, though, as soon as the water level drops where you can't get the siphon to work, we need about 6 feet, 8 feet of airline, then yeah, it could be an issue. But I'm liking the idea of the coffee filters because what I could do, I don't even know if I've got one at the moment. Ugh, I don't think I have. Have I got a small sieve? No. Yes. And my water jug. So what I could even do is just imagine that's a tea strainer. Stick that on the top. Stick a coffee filter in the tea strainer and then just run the water through that. And there's something running around inside the net. Oh well, never mind. Or will that? No, that seems way too big. But yeah. There's all sorts of ways we can Heath Robinson some kind of contraption. Or Rube Goldberg in the Americanism. Pipe through the side of the container about 6 inches up. Well, the tap on the container is about a foot from the bottom. So it's still pulling sediment that way. So I think it might just be tannins in the water. The fact that the floss didn't pull anything out. Well, it pulled some out, but not much. So yeah, just some more excrements. It's not a rush because I don't even have a tank yet. So I just want to get everything. Yeah, also my nearest Sainsbury's. How can I demonstrate this? If I threw this pack of bug bites like that, on a good day, I could hit Sainsbury's. Literally. So yeah, next time I'm in there, which will probably be maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. I remember I shall have a look and pick up some coffee filters. If they don't have any, then I'm sure there'll be somewhere else in town that sells them. And yeah, actually, I'll probably do it in QD, quality discount. Think Dollar Tree. They might have some, and then I can probably grab a tea strainer in there as well. So that probably be the way to go. Or just use standard filter paper, blotting paper, that kind of thing. Yeah, worth an option. So all I'm going to need is 2.5 gallons a week, basically. So yeah, it doesn't have to be some super speedy way of doing it. Preferably some way I can set it up and just let it go. Hello, hello. Yella's back again. Oh, Renee. I not only up Pompeii, I was watching Hello, hello again the other day. That's still hilarious. Probably massively inappropriate as well these days, but that's what makes it funny. Yes, it was a very amusing sitcom based in France during World War II. Back for a bit, still at the shops. Ooh. Grab us some coffee filters while you're there, will you? Coffee filters on a tea strainer. Be perfect. Ugh, why did that feel like I was trying to swallow my tongue? Put it on the list. Yeah, where were we? Where were we? Yeah, water. Yeah. So I mean, if we have another summer like this year, where we basically had a drought for 4 or 5 months, I think, maybe longer, then obviously I'll run out of water to take out the water butt. Because if it don't rain, no watery, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it by buying a large water container and lugging it about, getting it filled up with RO. I mean, I say 25 litre water container would last probably 3 weeks. So you can also use nut milk bags. What the hell is a nut milk bag? That sounds really perverse. Because to me, nut milk probably has a different meaning than you're thinking of. To make almond milk. You calling me the weirdo? Almond milk is not milk, it's nut juice. These cartridges are made attached to the pipe when you use tap water for water changes, takes out the chlorine. Yeah, that's the kind of cartridge I'm thinking of. I was thinking of, Ricky. So it's basically a tube of whatever the filter media is they've decided to use, and you run water in it, and clean water comes out the sides. So I'd have to bung up one end of it. But they do one that is a sediment filter and one that's a carbon filter. The sediment one is only around about a fiver. The carbon one is about 16. So I'm thinking you'd probably want to use the carbon one after you've used the sediment one, because I'm thinking if you're using the sediment filter, then attach a J pipe on it and it hooks on the tank. Yeah, we're not going that way. We go into a bucket, and then when there's enough in the bucket, hoof the bucket up to the sink, top it up with hot tap water, so it's roughly about the right temperature, chuck a bit of dechlorinator in it, and then straight in the tank. We're only talking about a 57 litre tank, Ricky. We're not talking about some monster thing. So it'll be a greasy nut water. Yeah, there we go. Well, yeah, exactly. It's marketing BS. It's just like moss balls. It's like, no, they're not moss, they're algae. But no one would buy algae balls. Oh no, algae is bad. We can't have algae in a fish tank. It's a bad thing. No, it's not. If you've got algae, it's doing a good job. There's a reason it's there, and you can get rid of it by making changes. But the algae is taking stuff out of the water you probably don't want in it. So, if you've got algae, don't panic, Mr. Mandarin. Greasy nut water. Or greasy nut juice. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Some people in Gallus scam people were making moss balls of one of some local pest algae. Yeah, well, I mean, I'd probably rather that than the. Was it earlier this year or was it last year where all the moss balls got taken off the market because they were all infested with, was it freshwater clam eggs or something? An invasive species of clam or mussel or whatever it was, some kind of shellfish. Yeah. Mandy was talking about nut juice, specifically greasy nut juice, Mark. Apparently, you can get nut juice bags. Yeah, it's just. Oh dear. I don't think I've ever had any of the almond milks or soy milks or any of that, so I can't comment on the flavour. But personally, I'd rather not pour something that contains arsenic over my, or no, cyanide over my cornflakes. Great for baby brine sieves too, for the record, pervs. Oh, baby brine shribs. Baby brine, baby brine. Oh, that's not it. Or is it? That's my baby brine sieve. Quite a few bags of some nut juice. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's not something you want to be taking a swig of and have running down your face, is it? Oh, sorry. Oh, actually, I wonder what kind of stains almond milk leaves. Whether they look just as dodgy as mushroom soup does. Yeah, don't spill cream of mushroom soup down yourself because it looks really bad. Yeah, Monica stains. Yes, got bit of the old Lewinsky going on. Didn't that dress get sold on eBay or something for a ludicrous amount of money? Yellow finds nut juice in rubbers. Surely you mean erasers. So whenever I set up baby brine shrimp never hatch, I have to get the one staff and look stupid in front of them. Yeah, so, it's just one of those things. Some people have a knack. I just fill the hatchery up with salty water according to the instructions, and then dump some brine shrimp eggs in and leave it a couple of days. Then try to remember that I'd filled it up and put some baby brine shrimp eggs in there before they all die. Or, as I've done in the past, forgotten about it for quite a while. And they didn't all die, but I didn't have baby brine shrimp anymore. Rather than thousands of baby brine shrimp, I had dozens of adult brine shrimp. Still went down well. Fish enjoyed them. That's why I don't use it all the time, because I keep bloody forgetting. Plus, is then you got to remember to actually put some brine shrimp eggs in it every day as well. Yeah. And bearing in mind, some days I forget to feed myself until I'm wondering why I start feeling wobbly and faint, like 7, 8 o'clock at night. It's like, oh yeah. They get frozen ones nowadays for the, yeah, it works well. I mean, all my fish will eat them. It's just, I kind of, how to put it, feels like a bit of a waste to giving them to adult fish. It's sort of thing that, like, I'd only give them to the shellies because there's usually quite a lot of shelly fry in the tank, especially at the moment with their little nursery they got going on. Let's just chuck some food in there, and then we can have a look at some shelly dwellies doing what shelly dwellies do, aside from squabbling with each other over bits of sand and rock. That's just some hikari first bites. Not raised brine shrimp. You know, I've done it accidentally more often than I have meant to. So, Shelly Dwelly feeding time. Get the camera straight. Num. And if we look down the back, they all run and hide. You'll see the occasional fry darting out. There are dozens of them down there. But yeah, as I say, we've got a healthy population of Shelly Dwellies all over the place. Oh, is anyone out and about over here? Yeah, a bunch more pregnant linears. Gorgeous boy. Look at him. With his black and yellow fins. Oh, more babies. Baby limia. Oh, SKP bristlenose, which is probably now a bit too big to be called an SKP. It's probably a resident now. Yeah, she's a good couple of inches long. And again, the Nanacaras are hiding for some bizarre reason. Probably because I haven't just put food in the tank. Yeah, so back with more linears. Should have done this earlier before the tank lights started turning off. And then cloudy bristlies, cloudy bristlies, cloudy bristlies, 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 bristlies. Yeah, you know the score. Earthworms. Yeah. Earthworm farms dying. Yeah, they do. They can be tricky. You got to get wet enough, but not too wet that they drown, and then enough food going in that they survive and breed, but not so much that it rots and contaminates it. And yeah, Becca, expert on catfish. Now, as Rebecca says, she doesn't call herself an expert, but I view it that Rebecca knows more about loricarids specifically, and probably most other what we'd call plecos, that's plebs, than the rest of us probably do put together. So yeah, I would classify Miss Rebecca as a catfish expert. I'm coming. This it's not like anyone else here did their master's thesis on blimmin' loricarids. Come on. I'd probably do mine on some if I ever got around to it. If I ever got around to finishing my degree. God knows what I'd do it on. It's physics. How fast can a fart propel you in a vacuum? Something like that. That's the kind of thing that I'd do a thesis on. Work out the speed of the flatus exiting the body and then the propulsive force. See how far and fast you'd go by farting in space. Yep, that one's dead. Fly river turtles. Tank one has a 1.5 foot zebra shovel nose. I would say if the zebra shovel nose has got a mouth that's bigger than 5 inches, it probably would eat them. There are some crazy theses out there and projects. I read a paper on rams, so they don't want their mates dead. My experience of rams, on the other hand, is that they generally do. Those and standard crebensis, they're the two that I know will kill each other. Yeah, and so I would err on the size of caution, and that the tiger shovelnose can probably open its mouth quite wide and probably fit a 6-inch turtle in there. Now, whether it have the strength to crunch said turtle is another matter. Either way, you'd either lose a turtle or you'd lose a turtle and a tiger shovelnose. If it couldn't crunch it, it got stuck. And from what I recall, tiger shovelnoses are predatory. So it probably would try and eat it at least. This is a similar. My pair currently killed their eggs by neglect, and they're now trying to raise dead eggs. Yeah. No one ever accused Discus of being smart, did they? But no, I mean, it's one of them things. One of the things I've noticed, especially with the egg tenders, the cichlids and things like that, is it does take them a good few times to get things right. There's the occasional ones that will do it right first time. My first lot of cribs did. But yes, they were in quarantine when they bred, so I'd had them like less than a week. I bought a trio, one male, 2 females. They paired off. One female killed the other female. Then they bred. Then the female killed the male, because I think the male was probably trying to eat the fry. And then, yeah. Rams and Discus, they removed the parents just because maximise the amount of fry that survive. So yeah, if you took a child and didn't parent them, then you end up with a feral child, and their kids, yeah, give it a couple of generations, you're back to cavemen, basically. So it's pretty much what's happening with the fish. If they've not been raised by their parents, they don't know how to raise fry, because they learn by watching, like we do. They can't read a book on how to do it. So I mean, nowadays, first time I noticed that a pair of dwarf cichlids, because let's be honest, that's the cichlids I breed. First time I noticed that they've got eggs, it's like, oh yes, they've got eggs. But I don't get too excited, because I'm pretty sure that the first lot of eggs they're going to eat, second lot of eggs they'll hatch and then they'll eat the fry. Third lot they'll probably do the same thing. It's usually third or fourth time they might get it right, if not a couple of times later. I have had some that just don't get it at all. They just eat the fry every time or eat the eggs. Oh yeah, bristlenoses will kick out the first lot of eggs. I've had that with both pairs. The first batch gets kicked out of the cave, but then for some reason the male still sits there and fans nothing. And thankfully, that's actually what happened with the super reds this time, so I didn't have to go through all the hassle of getting Fred out of the cave to get the eggs out and then freeze them. It was just a case of stick my hand in the tank and pull the egg mass out and chuck it in the freezer, as it were. yeah, so once I've done it once or twice, I get the hang of it. I mean, Spotty, bless him now, he's got the hang of even coming out of the cave once they've hatched. You know, I literally, great fish food and lobster eggs cost a fortune. That they do. So Spotty now, he's at the point where as soon as I put my hand in there and pick up the cave, he just backs out slowly and leaves all the fry in the cave. And it's going, oh well, there you go, into the breeder box. Swill it around. Yep, there we go, all done. Whereas Fred's not got to that point yet, and he'll cling on for grim life inside the cave, often leaving me getting all the fry out, but somehow he's still in there, which is what leads to the escaped fry in that tank. Howdy, Bob. How you doing, sir? Good to see you. Oh, as always. A happy birthday for this week, sir. Hope you had a wonderful day. Got lots of licks and snuggles off the doggos and the kitties. And the reptiles and the fish. So the main thing is, for me, with feeding fish eggs to fish, I know it's a great fish food because it contains all the things that you need to grow a fish. But I've got this thing where I don't want to feed them to, for example, if I pull out some eggs in here, I don't want to then put bristlenose eggs in the water for like the acaras and everything else to eat, because then they might get the idea that eating bristlenose eggs is a good thing. Same with the apistos, they'd probably eat them as well. And they're still doing well, thankfully. All three are still live and kicking and doing apisto-y things. The male's a bit dumb. He managed to get a bit caught up in the Anubias the other day, but there we go. And what I have done is in the two flexes that have got the shrimp and clown plecos, and then the other one has got the bristlenoses and the apistos and the cubitais, I've dumped a red bush tea bag in the back of the filter compartment just to get a little bit of colour back in the water, not black water, but a little bit of a tint. Because I'm running on the theory that fish that have probably come from naturally anyway won't go with black water. We'll go with coloured, tinted water. Are probably going to behave more naturally and be more comfortable if the water is coloured or tinted. So that's what we're kind of doing there. Oh, there he is. Is that Spotty? Yeah, there he is. Hello, Spotty. You doing nom and noms? Yeah, showing off your gorgeous mouth and belly and your bristles. Good boy. Yeah, yeah. That's it. I've got a bristle nose on my shoulder. Oh yeah, and the big cryptocrine, whatever, that was over this side that is now almost gone. Yeah, that's the electric blue acaras. They decided they didn't like where it was, so they snapped it all off. So we've got a couple of dead stems left. Yeah, we just pull them out on Tuesday when it comes to water change time and replant what's left. And the birds are listening. Tweet, tweet. Oh, thank you very much, Dan. 2-0 to England. I'm guessing by the emojis rather than to Senegal. So, and now is the important question: who scored? Because we need Harry Kane to score 3 more goals for England. Just to get Wayne Rooney off the top of the bloody scoring sheets. No, should be a Spurs player at the top of the England scoring sheets. Gary Lineker was robbed. Henderson, Harry scores when he wants Kane. There we go. So Jordan Henderson's on, which means one of the ones that wasn't doing anything any worthwhile in the games I saw has been taken off. Or taken out of the team. Spurs 1, Senegal 0. See, that's the important thing. Although the weird thing, if you put a club team up against an international team, especially some Premier League or top of one of the European leagues, they would win easily. Purely because the players are used to playing together all the time. They know each other's game inside out. You can always tell when you're watching international football that the players aren't used to playing together. They sort of have to look up and see what other people are doing rather than just knowing. If as a centre back, if you know that as soon as the ball gets passed back to you, that the winger is going to go zooming off down the touchline, you don't even have to look, you just hit the ball. Straight away, you know where you're putting it. Rather than having to look up, see that the winger's made the run, play the ball, by which time either the winger's offside or has to cut back to get the ball, because you know, it just slows everything down. Not been a walkover. Senegal have given as much as they took. We had a good 10 minutes before half time. Yeah, I say they're not a bad team. I mean, they're. I mean, other than Qatar, who shouldn't have been at a World Cup because they would never qualify for one. You don't get whipping boys at World Cups anymore. Generally, even the teams that you might think of as being a whipping boy, they aren't. I mean, it's different in the qualification groups when you've got people like teams like Luxembourg or Andorra. You know, there isn't even a professional league. Then, yeah, you know, these things happen. Or what was the other one? Faroe Islands is another one. You know, there's barely enough people live there to make a football team. Yeah, I mean, we all know why it's there, Dan. It's corruption, money. That is the only reason it went there. And guarantee all those stadiums that they built specifically for the World Cup, they're not going to be used afterwards. They're either just going to sit there and rot in the desert or be knocked down and made something else built there. Again, by underpaid, overworked, virtually slave labour. Yeah, I mean, let's just say FIFA haven't exactly covered themselves in glory by the way they acted. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think if you go to another country, you should respect that country's beliefs, laws, and traditions. But to me, something international that is over the last few decades has been promoting, you know, anti-racism, and over the last several years have been promoting equal rights for people of different sexual orientations. Yeah, it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth. As Mary, still hopeful for her co-hosting a stream. Mary is wonderful. She's doing very well at the moment. Thank you, Bob. Stay hopeful. Chances are very slim because she doesn't like being on camera and she doesn't like the sound of her own voice. So it's probably not going to happen. But yeah, it's hard to pin a wild Mary down exactly. Um, of all the videos that she's either been there or now, as a wild Mary turns up, she's only spoken once. Saudi's players got Rolls Royce Phantoms after winning against Argentina. Yeah, it's money. I mean, they're getting paid enough anyway. They can afford their own Rolls Royce. But I suppose it keeps BMW in business. Yeah, it is BMW, or is it Volkswagen now? That I think it might be VW, one of the German car manufacturers that owns Rolls Royce now. Um, although, seeing Bob, I do have to say kudos to the American FA. They are now paying the ladies players the same as they're paying the men's players. This is a very forward thinking. So well done, American FA. Got my rolls the old-fashioned way. Tennessee Fish Mafia, yes, Tennessee Fish Mafia for life. Yeah, I thought it was BMW. It was either BMW or VW. Something ending in W. Either People's Wagons or Bayern Munich Wagons. And apparently, Beamer isn't a term that is used in different countries. Apparently, it's only the Brits that call them Beamers. Football America, I don't think is even that big. They do their rugby with them. Ooh, yeah, careful, Rebecca. That one can upset people. Trust Saudi to buy players. Their cars are presents that hoover up fuel and get their money back. Yeah, there is that to it. You'll know same in India. Yeah, so you'll know that the internal combustion engine is going away for good. The clue will be when Rolls Royce release an electric car. I'm all for electric cars. Don't get me wrong, electric or hydrogen. I think hydrogen is probably the better way to go. But yeah, yeah. When companies like Rolls Royce start doing electric cars, that's when it's time to take note. Yeah, the days of doing EV rolls would be a curse of the world. Yeah, well, yeah, they've got electric racing cars. Now, I think is it the electric VW now that has the lap record on the Nordschleife? I mean, admittedly, that's never going to be a road car, but as a concept and a proof of concept vehicle, it's. And I have the Pleco Poop hydrogen fuel market covered. Oh yeah, yeah. Get your Pleco Poop here. The first hearses were electric in the 1900s because petrol fuel cars are too noisy for funerals. Yeah, we had electric milk floats in the 50s or 60s. So yeah, the guy that came around and delivered the milk to everyone's doorstep in the morning. Yeah, believe it or not, that used to happen. His vehicle was electric as well because it was quiet and didn't wake people up. Then the bin men started coming around at that time in the morning and waking everyone up anyway, so you know. And now it's just cheaper and easier to get the milk from the shop rather than it is to get the milkman to hand deliver it. Um, Yes, back when milk came in glass bottles. And in winter time, if you didn't get up early enough to get the milk, because you had new milk delivered every day, because you'd have enough for one day. If you didn't get up and get it early enough, it was frozen in the winter. Yep, delivering milk to all the sparrows and tits every morning. Yep. Yeah, that was the other one. If you left it out a bit long, then the birds would come along and peck through the foil top and have all the cream out the top, the little buggers. And that was always the best bit out of a pint of milk, is that first bit of creamy goodness. That was back in the days when everyone had full fat. Oh, congratulations to your parents, Rebecca. But the most environmentally friendly way of doing it is no plastic. And even the glass gets reused hundreds, if not thousands of times. And the foil top, that's aluminium foil. That probably get turned into a can at some point. But yeah, never going back. Okie doke. See you later, Danny boy. And yeah, it's my time is up as well. I'm sure there is someone else about the stream. If it's not Corey, it'll be someone else. So whoever is streaming next, if you are watching them, hashtag Pleco Hydrogen. There we go. That'll really confuse people. But yes, thanks to everyone for showing up, for being here, listening to me ramble for a couple of hours. Thanks, Mark, for all the membership gifts. Enjoy your fish keeping. Have a good week. Stay safe. Avoid Mariah Carey. Have fun. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Ah. Meep.